Hello, everyone. It is Sunday, not Saturday. I'm aware of that. Hello, everybody. This is Brad. This is The Bad Show, and I wanted to do the show yesterday, but I ended up working outside the last 2 days, and I honestly was going to try to do it last night, but I was just too tired, and I was like, I'll just wait till tomorrow. Because it's my show. I can do my show whenever I want to do my show. But anyway, like I said, well, let's see. We got a Twitch viewer. I assume it's a Twitch viewer because I had my browser pulled up earlier, and I know sometimes that counts it. Oh well. Either way, people can always watch the show later, so hello to all. Anyway, I guess we could jump right into this because the majority of this is going to be covering a recently announced thing, a much bigger thing, something that got way more attention than this first topic did. But because I've kind of made Fortnite talk a regular thing on this show. But this is sort of minor. The Silver Surfer was added to Fortnite. Now, when they started doing this whole Marvel thing, one of the earliest teasers said something like it was a teaser for Thor coming to the game. And it was worded like, "The Herald is coming," or "The Herald has arrived," or something like that. And I said, that's weird. I don't remember Thor ever being Galactus's herald. I said, that's always been the Silver Surfer, as far as I know. I know that there's 5 million different storylines from Marvel comics and everything where certain characters do certain things. And I've only read up and watched videos on a few, like just was it like yesterday, the day before, I watched something about there's apparently a zombie thing where the Avengers are all zombies and they fight Galactus and eat him and they all become gods or something, and then they destroy the universe or something like that. So I know there's like a whole bunch of stuff there, but generally speaking, the Silver Surfer has always been associated with Galactus and has been his herald and searching out for planets for him to eat. So I was surprised they did that, but so I wondered that, would the Silver Surfer show up in Fortnite? And 2 days into the new season, and they dropped this in the store. It's already out. They've already pulled it from the store, so I picked it up because I want to get these cooler skins like this. Plus, of course, me working on this Deadpool thing, Deadpool machinima show, whatever you want to call it, the more characters they use, the better for me, because I can work these characters into my show. I'm not quite sure yet how I can do the Silver Surfer in the show, but I'll figure something out. I guess we could just cover some of the other little things. I know they've been doing like POIs, as they call them, points of interest, in like where they dropped something from Ant-Man, just a giant doghouse. There's a Black Panther giant statue. There's, what else was there? There was some sort of trick. No, not trick. Some sort of transport thing that was added. And there was one more, I think, and I can't remember it now. What was it? There was one more. I want to say there's one more. Oh, yeah, wait, maybe it's the new one. The collector's thing, the collection or something like that. That was supposed to be added today. I haven't played today, so I don't know if it's in yet. Supposedly it's in there. But, and they also decided to add the Hulkbuster's harvesting tools to the eShop. That's in there right now. They cost 1,200 V-Bucks. I think you get both sets of them. These were originally introduced as free if you played the Marvel Avengers beta and did certain missions. If you did that on your on the same thing you play Fortnite with, I guess like if I downloaded it on Xbox, I could have got those, but I didn't have time. There's 1,200 V-Bucks to get both of them, I think. It's a little too much for me, personally, because I'm anticipating a bunch more Marvel skins coming, and I don't want to, I don't want to spend it all on like a harvesting tool. I want to, if there's no skin to go with it, if they were gonna add the Hulk and that was his unique, harvesting tool is you could just do it with his own hands. That would be one thing. But I don't anticipate the Hulk or that giant, Hulkbuster Iron Man suit to be coming to the game. So as cool as they are, I don't think I'm going to personally get those two harvesting tools. Like when Deadpool came out, I got some. I bought something for Deadpool and I can't remember. I don't know, some of the Deadpool stuff was just weird, like this weird dragon unicorn thing that you can ride on. I wasn't too sold on that. The big Deadpool mallet, and like, I don't need a Deadpool mallet for his harvesting tool. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I also missed the emotes. Just didn't have enough V-Bucks at the time. But like I said, I didn't view those as necessary for him. They didn't stand out that well, I guess they could have stood out. Like he had the little bike, little scooter. I guess I kind of do admit I wanted that one. I would have took the scooter or maybe the chimichanga. Like if I needed like the emotes, then maybe that would work because they are more associated with this character than that other stuff. I still think they missed like. It's close. Like they added those two variants of like actual Deadpool skins, like Ravenpool and Cuddlepool. But I do think they missed an opportunity to put Lady Deadpool in as a female alt for Deadpool because it's just female Deadpool with a ponytail. Is to my knowledge, I don't know much about Lady Deadpool as a character. But as like visually, that's really all it is. It's just, female Deadpool with a ponytail. But anyway, I think that would have been cool. I don't know. Like I said, I think there's gonna be more Fortnite. I think there's gonna be more Marvel skins coming to the game. I think they'll probably bring back the Star-Lord and Black Widow skins at some point. I feel like that's going to have to happen. And I was going to do this today, but I'm going to save it for another episode. I might do a YouTube video on it instead and see how that does. But I might go over some skins that I think will show up in Fortnite. I'm trying to come up with different ideas for my YouTube channel that's not just gameplay videos. So I want to do some discussion things and maybe some prediction videos and stuff. I think that would be cool to have. But anyway, I think that's really all I can speak on Fortnite, other than the whole deal with the Apple lawsuit and everything. And last I heard is that what was it? What was the last bit I heard on that? I know Epic's trying to get Fortnite put back in the store, and there's some other stuff going on there. So they're still fighting. I still don't like that they've turned it into a joint marketing campaign with the whole, free Fortnite, merch and stuff. I just don't like that. Like if you're gonna fight the good fight, I don't think you should be selling merchandise off of it. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to rally the troops, so to speak. I don't know. I think they should have just done what they were gonna do. Said, look, we're doing this. It's not just about us. This will help everyone, and it's fair, and that's why we're doing it. But anyway, I don't like the chance to make money off of something like that. But anyway, we'll move on now to what I'm sure everybody's waiting on. The big announcement from Nintendo of Mario's 35th anniversary celebration. Yeah, they just dropped this completely out of the blue. And I can only imagine what would have happened if the world had not had to go through a pandemic. Like I can imagine the Nintendo Direct if this had, if this was to have been like a big secret that they were planning. Wow. It would have been insane. I mean, I think that the world would look much different in general without a freaking pandemic, but there's some mixed reactions to this. There's a lot of good and some just like head scratching things from this direct. But I'll talk about each one personally and like tell you how I feel about each announcement, because they actually had a lot. But so let's go on. We'll jump right into the first one. The first announcement they gave us was a brand new Game & Watch handheld that plays Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, the actual real true Super Mario Brothers 2, the one that's called Lost Levels here. Which is just I won't say it's just a harder version of Super Mario Brothers. It's like an expansion. It was like the direct sequel, and then of course this I can't remember the original. It's Doki Doki something. That was what was originally in Japan, and then it got repurposed into Mario Brothers 2 here. But this game and the Game & Watch here comes with a revised version of Game & Watch Ball, where instead of Game & Watch doing the juggling, it's Mario. So, I mean, it's still the Game & Watch body. It's just got Mario's head. It's not that big of a deal, and it serves as a clock. And there's some touch things on there that just like the old one. But this is kind of cool. I don't know if I would want it though. Like, I appreciate the throwback to the Game & Watch, even though that kind of, I never had a Game & Watch. I know it's part of Nintendo's legacy and, gaming history. So it's cool that this exists and that they're, doing it. But I don't know if I would be interested in buying it. I guess the price would help me figure that out. Which I just don't know. It's cool. It's a cool little thing to do to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary, but I just don't know if this one's for me. And of course, it's a limited edition. I understand that for a physical item, But if I want to play Super Mario Brothers, I can do it on the NES Mini I have. I could do it on Nintendo Switch Online, which I already have. So this is like I feel like this is gonna be like a niche thing to me. Like, I can't imagine it having wide appeal, I guess, for people, or maybe it's just straight up like a Mario collector's thing. Like, for people who are like hardcore Mario collectors would want this. That's what I kind of feel like. So like I said, I don't hate this thing. I don't think it shouldn't exist. I just don't know if it's personally something I would be interested in buying. I like it. It's cool. Just maybe not for me. Maybe not something I'm willing to spend money on. Not when, you get, there's 3 games, two of which you can already play. I'm sure there's some way to play Game & Watch Ball somewhere. But I don't know. Just something I think I probably won't be buying unless I can find it for a really good price. But second announcement they had for us is the port that everybody knew was going to happen eventually of Super Mario 3D World from the Wii U, plus Bowser's Fury. Now, what is that? What is Bowser's Fury? Who knows? They showed a big, long teaser of the footage from the game's port, and it still looks good. I'm still in the camp that thinks that Mario 3D Land was a better game than 3D World. I don't know. Is there something about 3D Land that appeals more to me than 3D World? Now, that's not to say that 3D World is a bad game. I've beaten this game before. Me and my brother and my sister, we played it together. We beat it. It's just I feel like there's just something missing from 3D World. Like, and maybe I just need to play it again. I don't know. But But anyway, I do feel like this is cool. It's cool that, you know, all these Wii U games are finding a new home on the Switch after the Wii U was a disaster, and it just, you know, this needs to keep happening. I think there's still a few more holdovers for games that people are waiting for, specifically the Wii U ports from some older Zelda games like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I think people are waiting for those, which coincidentally enough, next year is Zelda's 35th anniversary, I think. So, and supposedly there's rumblings that could happen too. That a big celebration is planned for Zelda next year, which may factor into some of the decisions they've made regarding Mario's anniversary, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But anyway, I'll probably get this at some point. I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see exactly what Bowser's Fury is. It's obviously more content. But, will you get to play as Bowser? Is this particular world, like, centered around Bowser? I mean, it's got to be to some point, but there wasn't really, like, the map they showed or the level they showed where Mario was sitting at the foot of this, like, bell, like, almost like shrine, it looked like. There wasn't any sign of Bowser other than it was, like, just raining and dark. So I don't know what Bowser's Fury is supposed to indicate. I suppose it could be an extra mode where you can play as Bowser. That might be cool. I think the times where you've played as Bowser in games have always stood out to people. So, especially given like Mario Odyssey's ending, I think people really enjoy getting a chance to control Bowser in a game. So, who knows? That could be something that's especially it's weird because it's not called like Mario 3D World Deluxe, like Pikmin Deluxe and everything like that, or like the New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. It's the name has got to mean something, so I don't know exactly what the deal could be with that, because it's Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So the real question is going to be, what is Bowser's Fury? I'm sure we'll find that out, in time. So otherwise, not really much to say. It's Mario 3D World on the Switch. You kind of know what you're getting there. I'll play it. I just don't know when I'll buy it. But anyway, the next up, at least the next thing I think they talked about, although this may not be. I think I got these in the right order. If I didn't, I apologize. But anyway, this is the next thing we're going to talk about. Is the announcement of Super Mario Brothers 35, which is a it's a free-for-all game where you play Super Mario Brothers against 34 other people, and as you defeat enemies, they are sent to other players' levels. So it's Tetris 99, but with Mario Brothers, and it's fewer players. It's 35 players to go along with 35, the 35th anniversary. So this is a really cool concept. Apparently, it's been done before by a fan. So apparently a fan did this. They got cease and desisted, I guess you could say. I don't know how to properly, I don't know what the word is. But, and then now this has happened. So that's always interesting to see Nintendo go after a fan concept and then make that fan concept their own. But anyway, this looks like a cool game. There's not really much else to say about it other than that it's just what it sounds like. It's 35 people playing Super Mario Brothers against each other. The one thing that everyone seems to be taking away from this and some of the other stuff in the game, in this direct, is that this game will go live, I think, on October 1st. But it will only be playable until March 31st of next year. So 6 months. You've got 6 months to play this game, then they're pulling it. It won't be available anymore. And my question is, why? Why would you do that? Why would you make a game that, Like supposedly it's only for people who have Nintendo Switch Online, and it has a for people who don't have Nintendo Switch Online, I think you can have I think there's like a 7-day um trial you can do. But why go through the trouble of making this to pull it 6 months later? Like, I've heard people say Tetris 99 still goes strong. I played it the other day. I just jumped in and played a few rounds just for the fun of it. I don't understand the logic between making a game, putting it out for only a short time, and then pulling it. Like, why would you do that? Especially something like this. Like Mario Brothers is the Super Mario Brothers, the first one, is one of the most popular video games of all time. And so a competitive version of that online, like, of course people are going to want to play that. Why wouldn't you pull it? And this just goes back to something I said all the time. Like, I love Nintendo. I love Mario. I love these games. But some of their business decisions just don't make sense to me. It's so weird that they would go through the trouble to make a competitive game like this and get people excited about it, and then just tell them, oh, by the way, you only have 6 months to play this, and then we're pulling it forever, and then you'll never be able to play it again. Like, why? Like, okay, great. You want to, say 6 months from now, it won't be Mario's 35th anniversary anymore. Okay, that's cool. We understand that you'll want to move on to other things, but why pull a game? And I think that's part of what people are anticipating about next year is that they must have some sort of big plan for Zelda next year. Probably something, I would guess, similar to this, that they probably are going to, for lack of better words, copy and paste for next year. I think you're going to see a lot of the same stuff they're doing for Mario now for Zelda. Or in some way, some equivalent between them. I think that's what's going to happen. But still, I don't know why you would do a game like this and then just pull it. Like, you're not going to... I don't think you're going to split the audience in that sort of a way. Because people are only going to play... people are only going to... At least I think, or if they do pull it, they'll have to put it back at some point. At least I think so. But there seems to be an idea going around on the internet that if people throw out enough feedback to say, hey, don't pull these. We like these games. Don't pull the game. Keep it around. That hopefully if there's enough pushback like they did with the Mario Maker 2 drama of, you weren't able to play with your friends, but you could play online, but, the online was kind of bad, I think, at times. And people were like, no, this just isn't cool. And there was a lot of pushback on that. And they fixed it. So, hopefully, if there's enough negative feedback on this, the idea of running these games for a limited time and then pulling them forever, that they'll bring them back. Or they won't pull them at all. So, of course, I think the goal would be to not pull the games at all. But anyway, I don't understand why you'd want to pull it. It's a cool idea. I would definitely play this. I definitely will play this, and you will see it uploaded. I don't know that I'll be able to win any of them, but this is fun. This looks fun. I don't, I can't help but wonder what a potential Mario Brothers 3 free for all would look like. That's something where you can carry items. That would be interesting to me. I want to see more love for Super Mario Brothers 3, personally. But that's, that game came out in 88, so we're still a good little ways away from any sort of, it'd be another 3 years before that happens. So, assuming they would want to do a big celebration for Mario 3's 35th anniversary, who knows? I mean, any excuse they could do to make money, I'm sure they would. But anyway, the next thing that they revealed was actually something that's interesting to me. Again, I don't know if I would buy this necessarily, but it does seem like a really cool idea. And that's Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Now, how this works is apparently it's software you download, but you also have a physical Mario figure in a little go-kart that runs on batteries that you control with your Switch. Now, I don't know exactly like how this is going to work, but just the concept itself is cool. So, how this works is that there's a little camera on your Mario Karts, and from the ones we've seen, we've only seen one for Mario and Luigi, and it projects your surroundings onto the TV screen, and then through AR, they impose Mario and the Koopalings and a racetrack onto the image of your house, as the little car with the camera is actually physically riding around in your house. And so the way it works is you go into like a course design mode where you a Lakitu, from what it looks like, a Lakitu throws paint on your car. You draw your course out with your car by actually driving it in, a circle or whatever shape you want to make it. That will actually set that will actually determine your course, and then you race it. So, and there's like physical goalposts you can make, or not make, but buy. I don't know if these are necessary to play this game, or if they're just extras that can help you. But it's actually really cool. If you had like a very roomy sort of place in your house that you could set these goalposts up, and there was enough room for everybody to sit back and watch, and it not be in anybody's way, I think this would be a very cool thing to have. I'm curious to see, like, from the looks of the game itself, you control the cart with the Switch, just like, your regular, battery-powered remote control vehicle. And if you get an item in the game, like if you get a mushroom, you get it gives you a temporary speed boost, then your little cart on the floor, your physical little toy, will get a speed boost. It will go faster. The same way as if you hit a banana peel or get hit with a shell, I guess, because I'm not sure I can't remember what all they showed in the trailer, but if you get hit, your car will slow down or stop. So what happens in the game's software will translate to happening physically in the real world. Of course you won't see, the Koopa shell in the real world hit your car, but it will have a real world effect. So that's a very cool thing, and I think it could be fun if you had a good enough camera crew. You could set this up and shoot some really cool videos, and align them together to show what's happening on screen and then what's happening in real life as the car's racing around your living room or whatever. So this is a really cool idea. They've already got the big Mario Kart on the Switch, and this is something new. Now, price is going to mean a lot, because I'm sure I think from what I just saw this morning is that the goal posts are sold separately. I think the actual go-karts themselves are sold separately. So if you want those, you're going to have to go get them. I think the software, from if I remember watching the video this morning correctly, the software for this is free to download from this eShop. So I could be wrong about that, but there's going to have to be some purchases made to play this. If you want to play it, I guess you get the full experience. So it's going to depend on how much it costs. Now, I think like little kids would probably eat this up. I think that this is like something that kids would really, really like. And that's not to say adults wouldn't like it either. Like I said, I think this is a cool idea. I just don't really have anywhere to set up a really cool Mario course in my house. But anyway, just because I may not buy it or buy it right now doesn't mean it's not a cool idea. It's something interesting And I'm curious as to what all you can do with this. Will there be, from what you see in the game, you're racing against the Koopalings, and that may be the only default enemies you have to race against. And what all items are in the game. There's anything new? Are there any new modes that set this one apart from other Mario Karts? I'd be interested to learn about all of that. But overall, this is a really cool idea. I may not be for me, but this is cool. Like, and I want to know, like, will we only have a Mario and a Luigi kart that we're aware of. Will there be a Peach kart? Will there be one for Donkey Kong or Yoshi or Bowser? I mean, you'd like to think that, like I said before, collectors will eat anything up like this. And so if anybody really gets into this, they're going to want to own all of them. So imagine that these little carts with these cameras cost $30. Like, that's just a random, shot in the dark price. I have no idea how much these will cost or won't cost. But imagine these cost like $30 a piece. You only got two of them. You sell both $60. Well, if you make four more, that's $180. And we know that Mario has this tremendous amount of characters. They could make, like, throw in Rosalina, throw in Daisy, throw in Wario, Waluigi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, the Toads. There's so many characters they could make cards for that they could make so much money off of. Collectors are going to go mad for them. So that's a cool idea. I don't know that I would buy it personally, at least not until I had, if I had some place or some area where I could do this and had plenty of room to make a really, nice course. That would be cool. But I don't right now, so probably not for a while. But anyway, I like this game. The next thing they talked about was not quite as exciting in my opinion, but was a bunch of merch coming out. And I picked this one because this was the first one that came to mind. But the merch is cool. I don't really want to talk about this much because it's just merch. It's just stuff to buy and stuff to wear. Like, the Lego Mario stuff is kind of cute. I don't know that I would buy those. But they're kind of cool. Like, I played with Legos a lot as a kid, and Mario Legos probably would have been like a must-have for me as a kid, especially considering like they're interactive, I think. So I don't hate the Mario Legos, but I don't want them like right now. Like, they're cool, but there's also there's something you could do on like the Nintendo site or something. It's like some kind of missions, and if you do them, you get you can earn like anniversary pins. Now those I actually would kind of want because it's like a collection of different pins that celebrate the various Mario games over the years. So those are something I actually would want. The Pumas here, I guess they're kind of cool. But there's no real. Looking at this particular picture, I wouldn't know that they're Mario themed. I mean, of course they've got the red, white, and blue, in those particular shades that Mario wears, but they don't scream Mario to me. Where's the big M? I don't see that on there. Maybe it is on there and you just can't see it from this angle. But from what I look, the only thing you can notice is I think maybe the tongue of the shoes has some Mario power-ups on it or something like that. And to me, it just doesn't stand out. I don't like loud shoes, to be honest. That's a personal thing. So these don't really look, from this particular picture, they don't scream Mario to me. They're just red and blue, like Mario. So they share the same color, but they don't scream Mario to me. So I wouldn't want these shoes just because I don't think they're Mario enough to really justify it. But I don't really like the big colorful shoes anyway. I'm all about t-shirts and, and that kind of thing. Find me a cool Mario t-shirt and I'm good. I have several Mario t-shirts. But then there's also, I think a talking Mario figure that's coming. A big one. What else was there that was out? Some like I said, there's gonna be t-shirts and stuff like that coming. I guess I could include this in this particular discussion. But there's also gonna be a bunch of stuff coming to some other games associated with Mario and just general Nintendo games for this. Um, Super Mario Maker 2 is getting a new Ninja time battle course in celebration of Mario's anniversary. There's gonna be a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament that is themed for the Mario fighters, so that'll be fun. Splatoon is doing a special contest soon that's themed around Mario. And Animal Crossing is getting some Mario anniversary themed furniture at some point. So I'm glad that they're taking advantage of their big titles. And we know Splatoon gets, they do a lot of promotional stuff with Splatoon. So Smash, of course, one of their biggest games. Animal Crossing, became like a massive success. A few months back, Animal Crossing was the only game everybody was playing at for a point. So it's really cool to for all the cross promotion and all that stuff. I like that stuff. Oh, excuse me. But I like I said, the merch is gonna be something I'm picky about because, like I said, like the shoes don't do it for me, but I do like t-shirts. So I don't know. It depends on what the particular thing is. Anyway, next little thing they announced. Not really a big surprise. I think this is sort of something that people expected with such an anniversary coming up. But Super Mario All Stars, the original Super Mario Brother All Stars from the SNES, has been added to the SNES catalog for Nintendo Switch Online. And of course, as everyone knows, Super Mario All Stars were 4 remakes of the original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, which is the quote true Super Mario Brothers 2. I had this on the SNES as a kid, and I still have it somewhere in storage, and it should still work. But this shouldn't surprise anybody at all. Now, I know people hated the Wii port for this, and they didn't optimize it at all. They didn't do anything different with it. It was literally just 4 SNES games on a Switch disc. So people weren't happy about that. But at least putting it on the Nintendo Switch Online service makes sense. And I'm glad they're there now. Little fun fact, there was a second version of this game that included Super Mario World in it. So I didn't have that version. I had the original one that was just the 4 remakes. But there was a version released later with Super Mario World on it. I had a cousin who had that version, which I thought was weird because I remember watching it. I was like, wait a minute, this is on this game too? Like, why do I have the old one? It's one of those weird things where you weren't expecting it, and then you see it and you're like, huh, that's weird. But I never did figure out, like, I never did know the reason why they added that or why that second version of the game was made. But it's just a little fun fact. Now to get into the real big news, the rumor that has been around for several months that the minute it dropped, I think people were very optimistic about, and it seems like this was the rumor that everyone in the game industry had heard, but everyone was sitting on because they were like, we don't know if we should talk about this yet. Is this kind of a big deal that they want to make it later? So, but everybody was sitting on this information until one particular place started talking about it, and then everybody started talking about it. And that is, of course, the confirmation of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which will be a collection which features Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Now, right away, I'm gonna say I really like this idea. When I first heard this collection was supposedly in the works with the Switch, I was like, good, great. I hope it's true. And um, because you guys, if you've ever heard me talk about Mario before, you know one of my favorite video games ever, and possibly my top favorite video game, tied alongside Mario Brothers 3, is Super Mario 64. I love that game. I always will love that game, and I will play this game until the day I die. I don't care. I don't care if we have Super Mario 356. I will play Mario 64 for the rest of my life. And it's just, and I don't want these old games to go away. I want old games to stay around and to thrive. Like, I want, as gaming, as games progress and as eventually we move on from the Switch to the next thing, and from there to the next thing after that, all these old games need to come with it. Like, the basic concept of the NES and the Super NES catalogs being online is a good one. And I think all of the companies should do that. Like, once a game reaches a certain age, I think just having a service online you can pay for and then go online and play those games all you want is the way that is the future of gaming. Now, I know that some of these others have stuff like that, but you have these shops where you can go online and you can buy certain old games. But I think this right here is what these developers need to do. Give us old games. Keep making new games, but bring the old games with you. Don't let them die out because the thing. What I want to talk about these specifically before I get into the negative part about this. But so first off, the graphics for the games will be upscaled, so they'll look better. Apparently they did something with Mario's hat in 64, so where it looks more like his traditional hat that he's always had since like Sunshine, and so apparently the M now looks exactly like the M does in every other game. It was just some sort of limitation with the tech at the time. I guess they couldn't get it right, or it was something to do with that. But anyway, Mario's M has been fixed. Some of the other the graphics have been fixed a little bit. It looks like. Anyway, it's been optimized. Mario 64 retains its blocky nature. They did not change the graphics at all for any of these games, as far as these aren't remakes. They're just made to look prettier. Mario 64 retains its aspect ratio. Mario Sunshine is now in widescreen. Apparently, it's not true widescreen. Apparently, they just they zoomed it in and fixed the the overscreen stuff like Mario's life bar and your coin count and all that. Apparently those have been edited slightly to look a little bit better too. But so that's going to be interesting for me because I already started the Mario Sunshine playthrough using the Dolphin emulator, which has some control issues because remember the original GameCube controller, you could partially push in the bumpers on the back, and partially pushing it in would allow Mario to spray with FLUDD without having to stand still. If you pushed it in all the way, Mario would stand still, and then you could control him and move him in different directions from a fixed point. Well, when you're emulating it through Dolphin with a Switch Pro controller, you can't really do that. So the gameplay is not as accurate as it could be, but that seems to be the only real problem that I've noticed while playing Sunshine through Dolphin is that you just you can't run and squirt at the same time. So anyway, so I think what I'm gonna do is because I really want to play the Sunshine, but I don't think I want to if I have a way to play it and it be a little more accurate to its original thing, because of course they're going to have to rework the controls to get it to work on the Switch. So I think instead of going forward with my playthrough, I'm going to play through Sunshine on the Switch up to the point where I played on emulator and get myself exactly back to that point and then continue the game. So it's gonna sort of work the way I've had to do Bully, where I was starting a Bully playthrough. I had left it in its original aspect ratio. I tried to convert it to widescreen the first time I played it. I thought it just wasn't working. Then I figured it out and was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna even bother, to go back and edit these. I'll just leave the gameplay as it is, in the first set of videos, and just play it in widescreen for the rest. No harm done. So expect that for this. I'm almost through with the Mario 64 emulation playthrough. And just to be clear, I use emulators for old games just because it saves, in space for hardware. I'm not going to stream anything that I don't legally own because I don't want to do that. So if I can't play this game legally, if I don't have a physical copy with a physical console that I could play this game on, then I'm not going to stream it. So, and like I said, I was running an emulator for Sunshine. Well, if I get this, I'll have a prettier version of Sunshine I can play for you guys. And hopefully it will have better controls than having to run it off an emulator that's trying to emulate it based on the GameCube. So, hopefully everybody will be okay with that, especially considering it'll be in widescreen and not the original aspect ratio. But anyway, and moving on to Galaxy, I was not the biggest Galaxy fan. I just the upside down controls and all. And don't get me wrong, I like Galaxy. I did beat it. I've beaten all of these games, but I don't know. Just Galaxy didn't really stand out that much to me. I don't know why. Maybe I need to play this game again and get reacquainted with it. Apparently, like I assumed, the Joy-Cons will serve as a replacement for the Wii remote and the nunchucks. That makes sense to me. Now, apparently they've if you play it in handheld mode though, the motion sensors are converted to work via touchscreen. So if you play in handheld and a star bit drops on the screen, you have to touch screen it. But see, the problem with that means is that your hand has to leave one of your hands has to leave either movement or jumping or whatever in order to get star bit. So you'll lose a little bit of your you're gonna have to sacrifice something to play it that way. But yeah, people can find a way to make it work. But anyway, overall, I'm glad this collection exists. I think, I debated before, if they were going to re-release Super Mario 64, would people really want a remake of it? Or do people, value the graphics of that time? Because I know I do. I love blocky Mario. I love that old Mario model. And by the way, they use that old blocky Mario model in the eShop right now. They've rethemed it to Mario, and whenever the page is loading, you'll see a blocky Mario 64 Mario running across the screen in place. So that's so cool to me. And like I said, I don't mind that these aren't remakes. They don't bother me. They look good either way, in my opinion. But I will say this, though. There is some negative to this. As you've heard me allude to this game will get a physical release, but it's a limited edition. But luckily, if you're not worried about physical editions, it will be available in the eShop. You can download it, of course. And before I forget, the game does come with the soundtrack mode. You can listen to all the music from all three games. So that's also cool. But anyway, the game will be in the eShop, but only until the end of March. So you've only got about 6 months, a little bit longer than that, to buy this game. And then they're pulling it. In what way is this a good idea? Like, it creates, like, why? This was one of the most anticipated things in gaming in general this year. Was people think, like, oh, is this real? Is it going to be real? I think it's real. Like, when are they going to announce it? Like, I know I've talked about it for a while, and I've been excited about this happening. Now, I don't know what that means for, like, say, like the Nintendo 64 catalog that I keep saying needs to happen for the Switch. But, like, why would you pull this after 6 months? Like, it just is so aggravating. Like, this is a game that you know people want, and then you're just gonna pull it. Now, I get the logic behind it is obvious. We'll make it a limited edition thing. It'll force people to have to decide to buy it right away. It will give us more money faster because people will think they'll never get to see this game again. And then we could just put it back later. Well, I don't like that. It's dumb. And it's such a brazenly obvious, money ploy that there's just no defending it. There's no other reason to do this other than to just, like, force people to be like, well, I want to buy this, may not can afford it now, but maybe I should just go ahead and buy it because maybe I won't get to buy it later. Who knows? You never know in this day and age of digital media when something may get pulled. Like, anime fans know this. I think a lot of people who watch, like, Netflix and Disney Plus even. Like, no sooner than Disney Plus launched, than, like, maybe a week or two into its existence, they were starting to announce stuff was going to get pulled. Like, why? Why have this massive catalog of media and sit on it? Like, there's sure to be some, poor schmuck somewhere out there who's interested in whatever tiny little game you've got or show you've got or whatever the case may be. And they would spend money on it. So why not throw it out there? And where there's one fan of some particular obscure piece of media, there's bound to be a handful or so. It's not costing you that much money. It couldn't be costing you very much money at all to put these on your own service and charge people for it to make it available. Like, you can't tell me that when they added Donkey Kong Country, or, the original Mario All-Stars collection is already on the Switch online service now. You can't tell me that people weren't interested in going online to play those games. There's no way. So, people want to play these old games. And, and it just the idea that you just want to sit on them, it just makes no sense. Which is why I think if a game is older than 20, 25 years old, like, I don't know how old the SNES games are. I think they're early 90s, mid 90s. No, Mario 64 came out in 96, didn't it? I think. Yeah, I got the lights off. I can't see I have a banner from the original Mario Maker release. It's got the dates for all of the from Mario's 30th anniversary. It's got the release year for all the different Mario titles. I think Mario 64 came out in 96. So that game is 24 years old. If my math's right. So I say if a game is 20 years old, 25 years old, especially considering how far back the 64 is, just put those online. Just put them online. Either that or do more collections like this, but make them better. There's already a remake of Ocarina of Time. There's remakes of Majora's Mask, which, by the way, I think that's part of the reason why they're doing these limited edition things. That's what I was getting to later. I think, and what a lot of people have figured out, is March 31st is the end of Nintendo's fiscal year. So they'll be done with Mario and what Mario will financially bring them at the end of March. So they have no reason to push the sale of this game beyond March. And of course, we all know, as I mentioned earlier, Zelda's 35th anniversary is next year. My guess is they probably want, like I said, they'll probably do something very similar for Zelda. I imagine there'll be a Zelda collection. I don't know what all they would put in it. But this could possibly go along with that supposed port for Skyward Sword that popped up online a little while back. Now, if we got like a Skyward Sword port and then a collection, a 3D Zelda collection that featured, either the original or the remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, HD widescreen Wind Waker, and HD widescreen Twilight Princess, that would be interesting. Like, I could see them doing that. I know, like, right now people keep it like, that's one of the few things that people are like, yeah, this is the last things from the Wii U that we need ported over now, are the HD widescreen releases of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. I think those are like the only games left that people really, really want from the Switch, because everything else has been ported now. Or from the Wii U, whatever I said. But that's the only thing I can figure out that makes sense, is that they want to, one, make this a limited thing so they can maximize profits to help with their their bottom line come the end of March. And that's business. It's just purely about money. And then I guess they don't want, they don't want the Mario anniversary celebration to potentially, I guess, impact a Zelda anniversary collection or celebration. So I guess, I don't know exactly when Zelda's anniversary is. Like, Mario's official 35th anniversary, I think, is September 13th. And this game comes out September 18th. I'll have to look into when Zelda's official anniversary is. And by the way, like, let's not forget, Breath of the Wild 2 is still coming at some point. So you could see an explosion of Zelda games next year. Just like with Mario. We got a new Paper Mario this year. When did Mario Maker 2 come out? It was last year, wasn't it? I don't remember. But we got a new Paper Mario this year. Mario 3D World's getting ported over. The Mario All-Stars is added to the online thing. The new Mario Kart thing. The Game & Watch. And now this Mario collection. So, it's an explosion of Mario games. Some new, some not. And if they do this for Zelda next year, you could see a lot of old Zelda stuff come back. So imagine that. Imagine a collection. Imagine that they bring back, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Now, I don't know, like I said, this collection here, there was a DS remake of Mario 64, but it was different. It was not a remake per se. Yeah, there was different functions. You could play as 4 different characters, or play as one character imitating other characters. So this was a different game. And whereas this 64 is basically the original. Almost exactly. But I don't know if people would prefer the original, like I said, the blocky Zelda, the original Ocarina of Time, versus the remake. I think the remakes got good reviews, and they look pretty good. Now, I remember I didn't like Mario 64 DS that much. I think the controls were a little weird. But I've played a little bit of the handheld Ocarina of Time, and it seems fine. So if they ported that one over, made it playable on the Switch, I'd be fine with that. But I would also be fine with the original Ocarina of Time with the blocky graphics of the 64, the N64. I'd be fine with that too. I have no problem with old graphics. I have no problem that old games look old. That doesn't bother me. I don't know why it would bother anybody. But Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, possibly Skyward Sword 2, and Breath of the Wild 2 all next year? That would be insane. Think about that. It's kind of turned into a Zelda discussion, but this is partially, why I think that they're doing this 35th anniversary thing and why there's so much, limited time things here. Is that, one, it is about the money, but two, I think it's also they're trying not to hurt their own celebration they're planning for next year. Now, that's speculation completely on the Zelda anniversary thing, but to me, that would make a lot of sense. I think I've seen some other people suggest that too. I just think, I just don't like the idea that they're pulling, this big 3D collection that people have been hyped for all year. I mean, I can't remember exactly when it was that this rumor got out and that people started reporting on it. It was months ago. But this has been something people have been talking about for a while. And I don't know why you would do that to people. Because what if somebody wants this game, but they can't afford it right now? They're like, oh, well, I'm kind of in a tight spot with money, so I can't really buy this right now. Especially because, I didn't mention this yet, I don't think. But this game comes out as of today. This is Sunday, the 6th. 12 days from now. They announced this literally just 2 weeks after, this was a very anticipated game, and people were assuming this was going to be the big holiday thing, but it's not. It's coming out in 2 weeks. Now, less than 2 weeks. So, but I guess the point, though, is they're giving people a limited amount of time to buy it. So, in a way, this is going to kind of carry them through the holiday and the beginning of next year. So, because people are going to be, people are buying this under the assumption that after March, it's not going to be there to buy anymore. So, they may not need a big holiday selling game this year. But who knows? A lot can happen in the, a lot can happen between now and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, we pretty much got the announcement of Paper Mario completely out of the blue. So, I mean, it was rumored for a little while, but they just dropped the trailer completely, just randomly. So, that's what Nintendo was going to be like this year, is just random announcements. And you're not going to, you're really not going to expect it much. But anyway, I just don't like the limited edition thing. I get it. I can understand it with physical items because to some extent, every physical item, is limited edition because things are just not going to be made the same way for all eternity. Not always. But with a digital product that's not going to change, there's no reason to make it limited. Because all you're doing at that point is just reinforcing the need for people to make sure that they have physical media. Like if Nintendo wanted to cancel the NES archive catalog, whatever you want to call it, and the Super NES catalog, and just pull those right away, they could. And if you don't own an NES Mini or a SNES Mini, you can't play those games from a legitimate source. You'd have to emulate them or play them off of like I have an actual original SNES. So that's why I prefer physical media for things. I know that we live in the this is the COVID-19 has kind of made people have to change their how they're living, and their preferences for stuff. A lot of the more recent games I bought have been digital. I want a physical Mario copy, so I'm probably going to buy this physical Mario copy. But I've always said, physical media is the best way to go. I understand the digital is just more convenient, and it is. To be fair, it is. So that's not to hate on people who prefer digital, but when you buy digital only, you run the risk of, your ability to play that game is completely given to you and is completely reliant on whether the person you've bought it from, the service you bought it from, is willing to support it. And it's especially true like with TV. So Disney owns so much stuff. But if they wanted to, they could just pull it all. And there'd be nothing you could do. Say Disney was to suddenly decide they're tired of Marvel. They want to sell Marvel off, or they just want to retire Marvel and make their own original stuff. They won't do this. Marvel's too valuable. But this is just a hypothetical. And this could happen to smaller things, and it has happened to them. But if Disney wanted to pull Marvel, they could. Just say no more Marvel. Then what? I don't want to see these media companies do that. But that's why they have their own. That's why all of them are trying to do their own streaming service, is so they can have full control of what you watch when you watch it. If they don't want you to see a certain thing, they'll just pull it. And I don't want games. I especially don't want games to do that. It's not good when TV does it. It shouldn't be good when games do it. Especially when the whole thing of preserving games, I heard about how for those of you who've watched Toonami, it's been a thing in recent years where people would collect certain things. A group of fans actually were able to put together the original Toonami edited version of Tenchi Muyo and completely rebuild it because those old tapes got thrown out. Cartoon Network didn't keep them because they didn't see any value in them. So that was something that could have potentially been lost forever just because the company who had the rights to that didn't feel like it was necessary to keep them. The same with some of the old Toonami promos and game reviews from back in the day. Those got thrown out because they didn't anticipate people wanting to see them. And so now they're gone forever. And so we shouldn't want to see stuff like that. And I think if I remember correctly reading something about when Kingdom Hearts, when they did the HD remake of Kingdom Hearts, they apparently had to rebuild the game from scratch because they threw out the source code or something like that. So I think the same happened for Sonic the Hedgehog. They had to remake the game all the way from scratch because they threw out material. Or threw out their code or whatever it was. Why would you do that? I just don't get, these companies can afford, these companies can afford to keep their records of their stuff. And good and well Nintendo can. They do. They're releasing Mario 64 again. I mean, and they've made Super Mario Brothers playable on just about a dozen different places. It's just, I don't want to see these games pulled. And I've kind of ranted on this longer than I intended to, but I love this collection, but I think Nintendo is making a big mistake if they actually do intend to go through with this idea that this is only a limited edition thing. A lot of people think it's just a marketing ploy to maximize profits by the end of the fiscal year, but I hope that's the case. I don't like it. It's kind of dirty and underhanded. If it's underhanded to tell people, oh, this is only going to be available for 6 months and then no more, and then knowing back in the back of your head that you're not, eventually you're going to bring it back, but. To me, it just seems dirty. You're being dishonest. So, I say, leave these games as they are, especially the one that's online only, like the Mario 35. That's that game will cease to exist if they pull it, because there won't be a physical version of that. And the only way to play that game would be through the Switch Online service. So if they cancel that, that game's gone. It's bye-bye. So I hope they don't do that. I want these games to stick around. And I don't know what else to say other than I hope Nintendo will listen to fans and change their mind. But that's going to do it for the show. I'm overall excited about this. I want to try to find some way to celebrate Mario on my own YouTube channel. Besides the Mario Sunshine thing I told you about. Maybe do some more Mario Maker courses. Play more Mario games. I streamed Mario All-Stars the other night. I've been doing Mario Kart on stream. Maybe if I can get some of these other games I started finished, I can play maybe like Mario and Rabbids. I love Mario and Rabbids. It's a very fun game. So I'm gonna come up with some different ideas and what I can do, and what I think people might enjoy. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Just throw this out there. This week on YouTube, starting tomorrow, will be a week of Hamtaro Ham-Hams Unite. Like I said earlier, I started this game. I started it playing as a ROM emulator. When I had my old laptop. My laptop died, and I carried all my ROMs over so I wouldn't have to re-download them. Apparently, for the old games that used to be like they would save the cartridge, it's saved to the ROM, and so I got to just continue that game again. So, I picked back up from where I left off. It took me a little while both times to kind of get, reused to how the game works, because it's a simple Game Boy game. But you don't really get a whole lot of clues on what to do. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to do a Ham week. So look forward to some Hamtaro on the YouTube channel. And of course, every Friday at 5 minutes of Fortnite. Plus, I've got some other games that I'm looking forward to playing as well that are like Fortnite. At least they appear to be. So I'm curious to see if these will hold my attention and entertain me the way Fortnite has. But look forward to that as well. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's hope Nintendo listens to fans and will give us these games and let us have them for as long as we want them. As well as other games people want, not just the Mario ones. So, thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Do the Mario! Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take one step. And then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it. It's the Mario. Do the Mario. Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take one step. And then again, let's do the Mario all together now.